Hey everyone, and welcome back to a new YouTube video. This is a very different video and I've never actually spoken about this publicly, and I wanted to dive into this and to raise awareness on a certain topic that I've been struggling with my entire life, and that is OCD. Only my family and my close friends know about this, but I knew for a fact that if I make this video and one person can see it and they can relate to my story and it makes them feel less alone, then my goal has been achieved. So ever since a young age, I've really struggled with OCD, and that can be from really struggling to check if the light switch is turned off before I leave a room. I can stand there for literally 10 minutes to check if a light is turned off in a room. And I've really struggled with that because whenever I had to leave the house, I had to make sure that the light was turned off. And I had to literally sit there for 10 minutes, going back and forth and not trusting myself that the light switch was turned off. Another thing could be from checking if the windows are shut. I would have to literally sit there and double check like 10 times to check if it was shut. And the same goes for checking if the door is locked. And this is probably my worst one because I really struggle trusting myself that the door is actually locked before I leave the house. And sometimes I can really struggle with this. Sometimes it can be a little bit easier. And throughout my life, it comes and goes. And I've struggled with it. And I'll be completely honest, it has affected me so much where I don't really know how I feel about it. And I've never actually faced this problem or spoke to anyone about it except for my friends and my family. So that's why I'm making this video, to raise awareness on this topic and to make someone else feel less alone out there who is going through the same thing. Another thing that I struggle with is when I'm out in public, I have to make sure that I have everything on me before I leave a certain place. So right now, if I was leaving these woodlands, I would have to triple check, 5 times check before I leave here. And that can really, one, delay where I'm going, but also affect me mentally in a way that I don't know how to explain. Because in my head, I don't trust myself when I check if I've left anything on the ground. Right now, I am a lot better than I was, but it does come and go. And that's the thing with OCD. You know, sometimes it can be easier and sometimes it can be even more difficult. So another example is when I went on holiday a few years back, I went away on my own and I stayed in a little hut on my own for a couple of nights, and it was so peaceful just to go on a solo holiday. I've never done that before, but I'm so glad I went. But before I left the little hut that I stayed in, I had to literally check around the hut, under the bed, behind the cabinets, probably for about 20 minutes, half an hour before I was able to leave. And then when I was able to actually leave the hut, I had to then walk out the door and then check that the door was actually locked. And that took another 5-10 minutes. And I don't think people truly understand how difficult OCD can be, because we don't want to talk about it. But I'm finding the confidence in myself to be able to speak about these things, because I know I'm not alone. And I know there's people out there who struggle with this and may feel like how I felt and feel like I didn't have nowhere else to turn to. So I've never actually figured out how to deal with my OCD. It just comes and goes at times. You know, when I'm stressed, it could be worse. And then when I'm more relaxed, it can be easier. So I just wanted to make this video to see if anyone has any tips or advice on how to make life easier when we live with OCD. And I know for a fact there's people out there who understand what I'm going through and also can relate to my story and my journey. So if you have any tips or advice, let me know down in the comments below. And if you want me to make a video about a certain topic, let me know down in the comments below as well, and I'll try and create that as soon as possible. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Look after yourself, and I'll see you soon.